So you're thinking about buying the Mecool KD3 Android TV box. N, you're probably expecting a standard, boring review of its specs. N, but what if I told you that, after testing this thing for weeks, I found a hidden feature that changes everything? N, therefore, you absolutely need to see this before you spend any money. N, for the best price, click the link in the description. N, all right, let's set the stage. N, you want a smart TV box. N, you want 4K streaming, access to all your apps, and maybe a little gaming on the side. N, you've seen the Mecool name pop up as a budget-friendly option. N, but here's what surprised me. N, the KD3 isn't just another cheap dongle you'll forget in a drawer. N, it's a weird, fascinating, and sometimes frustrating little gadget that either solves your problems or creates new ones. N, therefore, buckle up. N, this isn't a spec sheet reading. N, this is the honest, no-holds-barred truth about living with the Mecool KD3. N, let's get into it. N, right out of the box, the KD3 makes an impression. N, it's sleek. N, it's compact. N, it looks like a fancy chocolate bar, but hopefully it won't melt under pressure. N, you get the device, a remote, an HDMI cable, and a power. The first test is always the setup. N, how long before you're yelling at your TV? N, therefore, I plugged it in. N, the Google TV interface booted up fast. N, it asked for my Google account, connected to Wi-Fi, and within minutes, I was looking at the familiar rows of Netflix, Disney+, and YouTube. N, it was almost too easy. N, like when you try to assemble furniture and actually have screws left over. N, you're suspicious. N, and you should be. N, because here's the first major twist. N, the Mecool KD3 runs on a Realtek RTD1619B chip. N, that's not the usual Logic or Rock chip you see in every other box. N, this is different. N, it promises AV1 decoding, which is the future of streaming codecs. N, but is that future here today? Or is it still taking the scenic route? N, let's talk performance. N, navigating menus is snappy. N, apps open quickly. N, streaming 4K HDR content from Netflix and Prime Video is buttery smooth. N, no stutters. N, no crashes. N, it feels premium. N, but N, and this is a big but. N, the Wi-Fi performance can be a mood. N, if you have a great router, it's fine. N, if your router is in the witness protection program in another room, you might get some buffering. N, therefore, for the best experience, use the Ethernet port. N, it's there for a reason. N, now, the remote. N, it's backlit. N, that's a killer feature for a dark room. N, you won't be pressing the Netflix button thinking it's the volume. N, it also has programmable shortcut buttons. N, you can set one to open YouTube, another for Spotify. N, handy. N, but the button layout feels a little cheap. N, the click isn't as satisfying as, say, a Fire TV remote. N, it's like the difference between a firm handshake and a wet fish. N, still, it works. N, all right, let's address the elephant in the room. N, the Google TV experience. N, it's the same as on a Chromecast or a Sony TV. N, profiles, watch lists, recommendations. N, it's great. N, but here's where Mecool's twist comes in. N, this box has a full-sized USB 3.0 port and a microSD card slot. N, that means you can plug in external hard drives. N, you can build a massive media library. N, you can run a Plex server directly from this little stick. N, that's wild. N, therefore, the KD3 isn't just a streaming client. N, it's a potential media hub. N, imagine having all your movies and shows in one place without needing a separate computer. N, that's the hidden power. N, but let's not get carried away. N, there's a catch. N, playing back super high bitrate files, like full Blu-ray remuxes, can sometimes cause hiccups. N, it's fine for most 4K files, but it's not a Shield TV Pro. N, think of it as a really strong donkey, not a racehorse. N it gets the job done, just not with Olympic flair. N okay. Gaming. N this is where expectations need managing. N the KD3 is not a gaming console. N it's an Android TV box. N you can use it for cloud gaming like Xbox Game Pass or GeForce Now, and that works brilliantly over Ethernet. N you can also sideload some Android games. N but native. Controller-heavy games. N forget it. N the performance isn't there. N trying to play Genshin Impact on this is like trying to parallel park a bus. N technically possible, but stressful for everyone involved. N therefore, stick to streaming and casual games. N let's talk updates. N this is a crucial point for any Android device. N Mecool has a decent track record with updates, but they aren't Google fast. N the security patch will likely be a few months old. N if you're a set-it-and-forget-it person, fine. N if you need the latest and greatest security the second it drops, look elsewhere. N but for most people it's perfectly safe. N it's like your aunt's casserole. N you don't know exactly what's in it, but it's probably fine. N now, for the big question. N who is this actually for? N that's the resolution we need. N if you're a tech novice who just wants Netflix in 4K, a regular Chromecast might be simpler. N if you're a hardcore home theater enthusiast who demands perfect playback of massive files, you'll need to spend more. N therefore, the Mecool KD3 shines for a specific person. N the tinkerer. N the value seeker who wants more than just apps. N someone who loves the idea of a single device that streams everything and acts as a personal media server. N the USB port is the game changer. N it's the feature that justifies its existence over the sea of other dongles. N but is it worth your money? N let's break down the final verdict. N the pros are strong. N great 4K streaming performance with AV1 future-proofing. N the full Google TV experience. N that fantastic backlit remote. N and the killer feature, expandable storage via USB and micro SD. N the cons are real. N Wi-Fi can be iffy, demanding a good network or Ethernet. N gaming performance is basic. N and the update schedule is just okay. N therefore, my final take. N the Mecool KD3 is a compelling, feature-packed oddball. N it does more than you'd expect for the price. N it's like finding a Swiss Army knife that also has a built-in pizza cutter. N unexpected, but weirdly useful. N if you want plug-and-play simplicity above all else, maybe pause. N but if you see that USB port and start dreaming of your own media library, this box is a secret weapon. N it's not perfect. N but it's interesting. N and in a world of boring black rectangles, interesting is valuable. N for the absolute best price on the Mecool KD3 on Amazon, click the link in the description below. N thanks for watching.